On this week's show, Peloton's spring schedule changes and a spring studio closure starting next week.
Plus, new programs from Tunde, more showrooms close, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 216 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I am Amanda Siegel, and we're back. I am joined this week by my co-host, John Pruitt. Hey, John, how are you?
Good to see you, Amanda. It's been a couple weeks.
Too. It's been a couple weeks. You guys have a fun, good spring break. You were back in Austin.
Yeah, had a good week in Austin, the three of us, and you were in London?
I was in London. In London. I
like
took
polar
my,
opposites, probably weather-wise.
You know what? No. Yes, no? I mean, we certainly were swimming, but we were so fortunate. I had the most outstanding weather in London. I mean, I took all these jackets, did not need to wear one of them. In fact, the first day I arrived, I was in a tank top. It was so hot. It was beautiful. Oh, wow. Got beautiful weather. Skies were blue the first couple days. No rain. So, was very, very happy. Very happy with the weather. Had a really, really special 5 days with my daughter. So, that was
and most
always,
importantly, a visit to the studio, I assume, was in there?
Of course.
Can't leave that out.
Yeah. Saturday, I got to hang out with the Roses Rebels. What a great group they have created. Bradley truly is very fortunate. Sarah is their lead
admin.
She is just fantastic, very inclusive, welcoming. She has an amazing group. The girls, everybody is just fantastic. And she tends to try and it was Bradley's 4-year anniversary. So this past week was his 4-year anniversary. And she always likes to do a husky takeover. And John adores the Rebels. He just has such a giggle. In fact, it's my pick of the week this week because it was such a fun class.
Nice.
So we did a husky walk, a takeover with the Rebels, and then we went into a Bradley. It was a 2-for-1. So that was kind of fun. I just had a really fun, and then we all went out for lunch and hung out, and just a really great group, really, really great group. So yeah, that was Saturday, and now that you can really only do classes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there is not much choice. So it doesn't give you Friday night. We had family plans. I have a lot of family in London, very close cousins. So, I'm like, I'm going to get to see Bradley and John on Saturday. So I gave up Friday night because they were both on Friday night. And then Sunday we had plans. So, so really fun. I do want to give a huge shout out, to Chris and our friend Jamie Brooks, Pedal to Paris, for stepping in last week and taking over and holding down the fort.
Thanks for filling in.
I did have a listen, and I know Jamie goes, I just can't listen to myself, back, and I can't listen to my voice. They did amazing. They did a great job, and I'm sure everyone was excited to have some just fresh blood in there for a little bit. And so I just wanted to say a huge thank you and shout out to them for covering the show last week.
Holding it down. Yeah.
Holding it down because we were both out, both gone, both not there. All right. Well, we do have quite a bit to throw at you today. So I guess we will get right into it. As always, folks, before we get started with the news, we always like to remind you how you can keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand side of the video and hit the notify button so that you never miss an episode.
Yes. And of course, you can listen to us if you're on the go and just want to hear the audio. We're on all traditional podcast platforms.
And of course, we're on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X. Just search for Pelo Buddy and follow us on those platforms. for all of the latest news. And now let's get on with the show.
Right.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
All right, John, I will go ahead and kick it off. It looks like Peloton has rolled out its spring 2025 live class schedule changes, with some instructor time slots shifting, new additions for strength and rowing, and some small tweaks to existing schedules. We are seeing some instructors' regular live class spots changing times and days, and some instructors getting additional slots, some class types having new regular times added as well. So it looks like Bex Gentry will have a new Thursday morning slot, while Alex Kowarski is now scheduled for Friday afternoon tread classes. Adrian Williams' Thunder 45 Bootcamp is moving to a new day and time. And Katie Wong, who was only recently added as a strength instructor, will now teach 2 weekly strength classes instead of just 1. So after months of no regular evening rowing classes, folks, we will be seeing evening rowing and rowing boot camps. So this is making it easier for West Coast members to also join the live sessions. So those 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m., row classes, which is not obviously favorable for those folks on the West Coast. Some of the reasons for these rotating schedules is that it just gives instructors different days off, which then in turn allows members to take live classes with new instructors, especially for those who can only work out at specific times. It keeps class offerings fresh and accessible to a wider audience. So unlike last year's major change, which was removing live classes on Wednesdays, these spring 2025 updates are relatively minor. So just be on the lookout. We've kind of given you a hint as to what to expect. We don't know exactly what will happen because, of course, we only really see the schedule 2 weeks ahead. And obviously the studio schedule is kind of depending on what's kind of going for the time. So you'll start seeing that probably in the next, month or so as to what the schedule looks like.
I'm just really happy we have some tread boot camps now back during the week.
Yeah.
Because we were just having Adrian's Thunder 45 on Saturday morning, and then sometimes we'd have Jess's their Sim 60 on Sunday mornings. But Adrian's Saturday morning was it's like 7 a.m. or 7:30 a.m. So now Andy recently announced in a class starting this Tuesday, April 1st, he's going to be teaching his HIIT tread boot camp. And then Adrian, he's got his Thunder 45. I don't know if it's going to be every Thursday morning, but Thursday, April 3rd at 9 a.m. Eastern, he's got his Thunder 45 tread boot camp. I mean, Rebecca's on the schedule for Monday, March 31st with the hiking boot camps. It's just great to see. And also the rows in the evening.
And you know what else dropped? So what else dropped this week? Maddie's walking boot camp is actually going to be a member class. So it dropped on the schedule to be booked for Friday. It's 6:30 a.m., so it's a little early.
Because those had just been on-demand drops previously,
been on demand.
Right?
Those have just been on demand. So the first one will be that first weekend in May. It dropped on the booking schedule this past Thursday. And it's 6:30 a.m. So he'll do the 6:30 a.m. walking boot camp and then do his walk and talk at 9:30. But that was a bookable class. So that was kind of exciting, and wanted to share that with folks. If you missed that, that was something that was being offered.
Love it. Well, just a friendly reminder. We had, I think we'd already mentioned it previously on the social media, Pelo Buddy social media pages, but we do have some studio closures coming up to let you know about. So Peloton Studios London is going to be closed from March 31st through April 6th, while Peloton Studios New York will be closed from April 7th through the 13th. So During those times, there's going to be no live classes from New York and PSL during both those date ranges, but also the closures don't overlap. So at least we won't be without live classes at all, like sometimes when both studios are closed. So the only thing that doesn't change is there's still no live classes on Wednesdays, as we've had now for a while.
Correct.
But, we'll still get, plenty of on-demand content drops. And also the live classes, there's less live content from PSL. So, you might have a little less options for live classes while the PSNY closure is going on.
But again, there is so much on demand. In fact, I came back from London, John, and
you can't even keep
there were
up.
So many cool classes that I missed that, last weekend. There were the 2-for-1, the sing-along.
I know, the Jen and Kirsten.
There was you missed them too.
I had all this FOMO
and it was
from...
Right. And it was trying to catch it all up. There was Ben Maddie's hiking boot camp. There was his walk and talk. There was John's classes that I didn't, get to do. I mean, there was so much stuff that I don't want to hear anyone complaining because there's absolutely enough on the platform. Yeah, it sucks that you maybe won't, your milestone isn't going to, match up or whatever.
Or your
There
birthday,
is so much on the platform that there's something for everybody. I mean,
so true.
Sure. With that being said, if you're trying to find something you really want, Peloton has now expanded its search functionality in the iOS and Android app. So if you are on the go and are using the app, Peloton are making it easier to find programs and collections directly. So previously, members had to scroll manually or use external links to locate them. Now you can actually search by an instructor. So just type in the instructor's name, for example, Mariana Fernandez, to see all related programs and collections. You can also search by workout type. So for example, if you're typing flow surfaces, you can do like the flow to the finish program, and that'll come up. Also, a new music artists tab makes it easier to find classes featuring specific musicians. So this update just really simplifies the navigation process and makes it faster to discover structured training programs and themed collections.
Perfect. Well, Peloton's newest strength training program, which launched last week, it's a 4-week-long upper body with Tunde program. And unlike other recent strength programs, this is not exclusive to the Strength Plus program. So any Peloton member should be able to find and take the program. It's available in the regular Peloton app. And Tunde's new program, 4 weeks long, during the program, you will be quote unquote, building strength in your arms, shoulders, chest, back, and core. And after the first warm-up class, you'll find 3 days of classes each week, each day consisting of a single 20 or 30-minute class. And it comes as, the class comes as something of a follow-up to Tunde's popular Arms with Tunde program, which launched back in 2022. And there are some badges you can earn for completing classes. You can earn a bronze for doing 7 classes, a silver for completing 10 classes, and gold for completing 12 classes out of the total 13.
Nice. Well, what is exclusive to the Strength Plus program is a new program called Compounds and Core, led by Rebecca Kennedy. This was launched this past week. It's a 2-week hypertrophy program focusing on full body compound lifts and core exercises designed for intermediate to advanced strength training enthusiasts. The program is structured with 3 workouts per week with a suggested schedule of days 1, 3, and 5 with recovery on the other days. The required equipment would be the kettlebell, dumbbells, foam roller, bench, barbell, pull-up bar, and plyo box. Modifications are obviously available. The breakdown for the workout, folks, is workout week 1, upper body plus core. Workout 2 is lower body plus core. Workout 3 would be core. And then for the week 2 is your day 1 would be upper body and core. Day 3, because day 2 would be your rest day, is lower body and core. Day 4 will be your rest day. And then day 5, full body conditioning and core. Again, this program is only available on the Peloton Strength Plus app, and it expands Peloton Strength Plus program library to 14 total programs.
Thanks. Well, Peloton's featured artist series this week showcased the music of Lady Gaga. This will be Peloton's final artist series for the month of March as they wrap up Women's History Month celebration. It is actually one of Peloton's largest artist series recently, with 13 different Lady Gaga classes that took place from March 27th to the 28th. They include modalities strength, cycling, running, rowing, and more. What we got are as follows: a 45-minute Lady Gaga outdoor run with Jeffrey, which dropped on demand in German. A 45-minute Lady Gaga outdoor run with Susie Chen. A 5-minute post-ride stretch with Bradley that dropped on demand. A 30-minute run with Maddie. A 15-minute core with Asal Arian, which was a premiere in German. A 30-minute ride with Benny, which also premiered in German. A 20-minute full-body strength with Callie, which was a premiere one. A 30-minute yoga flow with Aditi. A 30-minute 2-for-1 ride with Tunde and Cody. A 30-minute row with Katie. A 30-minute hike with Rebecca Kennedy. A 30-minute ride with Camilla, which was in Spanish. And a 30-minute run with Marcel Maurer, which occurred live and was in German. And Peloton has been giving extra promotion, especially to the 30-minute 2-for-1 ride that was led by Cody and Tunde. And they teased it on the Peloton Studios Instagram account with a reel that featured both Cody and Tunde going and practicing their choreo. But it seems like everybody pretty much got a chance to teach one of these ones.
Really, really fun artist series for sure. And I know much hyped about and excited. So we'll talk more about it next week, probably once all the classes have been taken. All right. Well, the featured workouts for this week at Peloton for this past week included a lot. There was the new scenic classes, yoga conditioning, extra steps, walking workouts, and a seasonal recovery ride. So the new scenic classes, which dropped on March 26, included locations in Poschiavo, Switzerland, plus other scenic destinations. They also announced that there would be a new audio-guided scenic class with instructors Benny Adami, Christine Dirkley, Hannah Frankson, Myla Wiedekind, and Olivia Amato, but the locations have not been revealed. Did try and go on my tread at least to see if I could figure it out, and I must be honest, I couldn't. So hopefully we'll have more of that for you, once we have those revealed. Whilst not in the This Week at Peloton, we did want to mention that the New York Roadrunners mini 10K dropped with Mariana Fernandez, guiding you through the iconic MasterCard mini 10K class. This audio-guided scenic class has you truly feeling immersed in the crowds as you run through Central Park on the tread. You can find this class under experiences. But back to this week at Peloton, Mariana also has a 30-minute full body yoga conditioning class, which was live this morning, Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Sam Yo dropped a 20-minute spring recovery ride on demand on March the 19th. This is his signature meditation-infused recovery ride, which is said to help with muscle relaxation and just stress reduction. We also got 3 new extra steps walking classes, which dropped on March the 24th. There was a 10-minute 1,000 1,250 extra steps walks with Myla Wiederkind. In German, a 10-minute, 1,200 extra steps walk with John Husking, and a 20-minute, 2,000 extra steps walk with Maddie Giacomo. These extra step classes, folks, are designed to really sync movement with beats per minute based on the music. So really just helping members hit their daily step goals while adding light cardio to their routine. They're kind of fun. I did John's and Maddie's, and they're just kind of, you don't have to think about it. You kind of set it at a speed and you just keep going for those 10 or 20 minutes. So it's kind of like no competition, no leader, you don't really worry about the leaderboard. You just kind of go at your, what your beats per minutes would be to that tune. So they're kind of fun. Yeah.
Cool. Well, Christian Vande Velde is going to be back at Peloton for another weekend of classes, at least 4 classes with members with him over the weekend of April 18th through the 20th. But classes open for booking with members this past Wednesday, March 26th. And I noticed a couple folks had recently received an email regarding a change in instructor. Some folks had booked with Olivia, I guess, for what was going to be a 30-minute pop ride, and they received notification that Christian was going to be teaching a 45-minute in her absence. So people seem pretty excited about that.
As well as Alex. Alex had a 30-minute ride, and that was converted to a 60-minute. People weren't so excited about that. I thought it was a great upgrade. I mean,
you get your money's worth.
And with Christian Vande Velde, I think people don't know enough about him, which is a shame, because to get to ride, with this pro cyclist. But, I get it. I mean, I
guess if you're expecting a Club Bangers with Alex and that kind of energy,
it might be a bummer. Especially to ride with Alex, I get it. But they certainly won't be disappointed. That much I can tell you. There's no question that it'll be an amazing experience. All right. Well, Peloton and Lululemon are back at it. They are teaming up again with their 3rd members weekend at PSNY. This one will be in June, from June 20th to the 22nd. As in the past, there will be exclusive in-person Peloton classes, Lululemon ambassador experiences, including special workouts, panels, and meet and greets, an outdoor 5K run, as well as social events, the same that occurred in the last Peloton Lululemon collaborative weekends. The classes will be exclusive registration for Lululemon members and will not appear on Peloton's regular booking system. Members must register via a special Lululemon members weekend. That's an alliteration there. And it'll have a landing page which has not yet been announced. There will be an early access opportunity for Lululemon members. Members sign up via the Membership Madness section of the Lululemon app for priority booking. The first 2 members weekends took place also back in June of 2024 and then in September of 2024. This upcoming event is expected to be bigger and better than ever. So make sure that you are signed up to be a Lululemon member so that you get to join in for that.
Good priority access, yes. Nice. Well, Joslyn Thompson Rule will be participating in an upcoming virtual panel on mental health that you can join in on. The panel will be co-hosted by Peloton and Beyond Blue, which is a prominent Australian mental health organization. And it's happening tomorrow, Monday, March 31st from 9 to 10 a.m. London time. And the focus of the panel is beyond the mental load, understanding, managing, and reducing the burden. The theme also ties into March being Women's History Month, as the panel will investigate understanding the mental load and why women carry it most often, plus strategies to prioritize self-care. And joining Joslyn on the panel will be Georgie Harmon, who is the CEO of the organization Beyond Blue, and Zenatala Ibrahim, who is a mental health advocate. And as I said, anyone can attend. You just have to register, which is a requirement and is free. And if you're interested in attending, you can go to the little write-up that we have on this event on pelobuddy.com or the Beyond Blue event page to register.
Nice. She's an amazing panelist, Joslyn. She actually did a panel this past Sunday in London. I wasn't able to attend, but she's really great.
It was an in-person one?
Yeah. She's just a great panelist. All right. Well, Peloton also shared that they will hold a 5K shakeout run on Saturday, April the 9th at 9 a.m., the day before the Berlin Marathon. It is definitely marathon season, folks. So this is the next big one that's coming up. The run will be led by Eric Yeager, Jeffrey McKeachin, and Susie Chan. The run will be suitable for all levels, so don't be intimidated and go along. It will be inspired by the energy of the German community group Rock Goes Peloton. Jeffrey will lead a warm-up, followed by the run through the beautiful leafy Tiergarten Park. Eric will lead the post-run stretch. And then members can register at the One Peloton event page for Susie Chan's chat that she will host. It is a mindset and motivation chat, which will start at 10:30 a.m. in the Chateau Royal Gallery space. So you can go ahead and do the run and then join Susie and get to hear her chat about the mindset of racing.
Good stuff. Well, if you're looking to purchase a Peloton hardware device, now might be a good time. Most devices are available for sale at either Amazon in most markets or Peloton's own website in the UK and Germany. Peloton hardware, including the Bike, Bike Plus, Row, and Guide, are currently on sale as part of Amazon's Big Spring Sale, which is going on right now, March 25th through the 31st. So you only have another day or so left of the sale. So as part of the Big Spring Sale, Amazon has the original Peloton bike currently listed at $1,195, which originally it's $1,445, and the Bike Plus at $2,145. Normally it's $2,495, and the Row is discounted to $3,095. Originally it's $3,295. And then lastly, the Guide is on sale for $45, which originally it's $95. So I don't think they can discount that any can't knock any more
they give it away.
Off of that unless they
Buy
give
a
it for
tread and
free.
get a guide.
So, and then lastly, the Peloton Tread appears to be temporarily out of stock. So we don't know if this is going to be added back in time, or maybe as of right now, recording, maybe it's back before the sale ends. So just a heads up there. But these prices are just to purchase the hardware, which is nice. Normally, a lot of times, if you buy it through Peloton, you get some sort of discount by adding on a package, and not necessarily, discounted from the price of the hardware. So that's kind of nice. And they do not obviously include the monthly all access membership that you have to pay for separately. But it is, the discount offers, amounts being offered are mostly in line with recent promotions that Peloton has offered. So if you missed out on, some of those, now's your chance through Amazon. And then, in addition to having products for sale on Amazon, Peloton is also running some sales on its hardware devices in international markets, as I said, on Peloton's website for UK and Germany.
I'm still kind of focused on the Peloton Tread being out of stock. I mean, is that a good thing? Maybe. Are they stopped producing them? It's like, yeah, I gotta investigate that a little bit more. I want to know more. I want to learn more. What does this mean? I caught that. All right. Well, what we have learned is that Peloton has closed 4 additional retail showrooms in the US, bringing the total to 11 closures in recent months. As of March 2025, only 17 Peloton retail stores remain in the country, down from 75 at its peak. The newest closed locations are Canoga Park, which is in the Westfield, Topanga, California area. The Roseville, which is in the Westfield Galleria, also in California. Murray, which is in Fashion Place in Utah. And then the most notable closure, the Manhattan West showroom, located near Peloton Studios.
That's right off the courtyard, right in Bath, right?
It is. So interestingly enough, and I didn't know this is one of the largest retail spaces that Peloton had, but it was considered redundant just due to its proximity to PSNY's in-house showroom.
I mean, it always seemed really quiet in there. I mean, when I'd walk in, everyone was kind of just
standing
hanging out,
around,
waiting for something to happen. Yeah. But it did have those nice little private rooms with each piece of hardware, so you could do a class and have privacy.
Yes. And if you wanted to go change or try something on, there's not really, I mean, you have to go into the bathroom if you want to change something on at the studio. Try something on at least. The move, this particular move does really just align with Peloton's ongoing cost-cutting strategy since 2022, reducing its retail footprints while shifting focus to third-party partnerships with its products now available in Sporting Goods, Amazon, and Costco, as you know we've constantly mentioned. They've also been experimenting with micro stores. So this kiosk style location, with
like a little
the first
pop-up
one being tested in Nashville in late 2024. Haven't really heard much about that, and I believe that's the only one that they have in the States. So we'll keep an eye on any of more of those opening up and let you guys know. But yeah.
I went up to when we were in Austin, we went up to the Domain, which is this nice outdoor shopping area. You know, there's Nordstrom's, there's, Needless Markups, Neiman Marcus, and all the high-end shops. And I went to the Viore store, and right next door was where the Peloton showroom used to be. And they still had it kind of closed off, like they're still building out something new.
Oh, really?
A new tenant. But it's
a
little sad, because the last time I was there in 2019, I popped over there to do a quick ride, in the window on a bike. Yeah. So
I'm still bummed the Aventura one closed, because I used to pop in to do like my milestone tread runs, or, if I was down there at the time. But so it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah.
Well, we got one birthday. Happy birthday to Bex Gentry. I don't know if it's her birthday
It was Thursday. It was
this past Thursday.
It was this past Thursday, the 27th.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Bex.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Bex. All right. Well, we'll go right into Instructor in the News, and I will kick it off. This past Sunday, the Sunday that I was in London, Susie Chan recorded a 2-hour live from PSL with crazy members in studio, a run. I do want to give a huge shout out to our very own Pelo Buddy producer, Chris Giles, who not only got to be in the run, but got to celebrate his birthday in the run. So Chris was in there. He begged me to be in there, and I said, you gotta be frigging crazy. There is not only would I not do 2 hours on the treadmill in a run, but I would not be doing it live in studio. And but they did it. It was fantastic. They gave everybody a protein shake at the end. They had an amazing time. There was some really fun folks in there. Tracy C was in there. Greg Dawson was in there. Greg Pick. Chris had a bunch of friends, and everybody said that it was just an amazing, amazing class. So huge shout out to Susie on that, on her first 2-hour run in studio.
Damn.
She probably ran to the studio before the 2-hour run, like Dex would
of course,
do, and then did the 2-hour run. I mean,
show off.
Yeah.
Well, Rad Lopez had his first. He had his premiere bike boot camp this past week. I believe it was live on this past Tuesday morning.
Yes.
We had announced it last week, but people seemed very excited, and it seemed the reaction was quite positive.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to, again, so much to catch up on. I haven't had a chance. It definitely is bookmarked. It's 45 minutes, so it's a chunk, but I've heard amazing things about it. He's just so
I've only
cute.
seen a couple highlight reels from Celestine Rojas.
Okay.
If you follow her, she's, Mila Mafia, big on Camilla and Rad.
Yes.
And Mariana.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, talking about Mariana Fernandez spoke at Bloomberg this past week for their Women's and Latinx Community Women's History Month event, something that she had been really excited to make happen. The title of the panel was Prioritizing Mental and Physical Health, something Mariana is a fierce advocate for. So huge shout out to her for having the opportunity to be a part of Bloomberg, and something that's so important and something that's, very dear to her heart. Yeah.
And our very own Adrian Williams, he is going to be a pacer for the upcoming Lululemon 10K race in Miami. And he's listed on the event website with a 11:30 mile time. The race is being held, like I said, in Miami on May 18th with a really early start time of 6:30 a.m. Eastern time, probably for that to get ahead of that Miami heat.
Yep.
The event it's a $99 registration fee if you would like to join. However, you can receive a discount by entering Peloton 10K MIA at checkout for a little extra savings off the registration fee.
Nice. All right. Well, Camilla, a Miami girl, Camilla Ramon, shared on her Instagram that she has been working on something and is excited to share, hopefully soon, what she's been up to. It does look like she has been collaborating with something retail and the fashion world. So we will wait patiently to hear that launch. But not on the sports side of things, but more on fashion and retail. So I'm excited for that.
I thought it might be that energy drink that she likes to conceal. That I think it's called Focus, PH.
Is that what it's called?
Focus, PH, PHOCUS. Allie Love was interviewed recently by Bobby Brown on her YouTube channel, Jones Road Beauty. She talked about a lot of different things. Her love of napping. She's big into napping. How people don't truly know her. Her mom and how she was able to buy her a home. She mentioned a story about being hit in her neighborhood when she was out running across the street. She got hit by a car when she was 9 years old, and the doctor was telling her family that she probably wouldn't be an athlete due to the injuries she sustained, but how she overcame that. It was a little strange, though. The interviewer said, I know you don't like to bring up, I'm 67 years old, and I know you don't like to say how old you are. And she said she just likes, the ambiguity of it. But it was just kind of funny because you can do a quick Google search and see that she's going to be turning 39 on April 6th. But it was just kind of funny that, what she said about that and how she was a little cagey about her age. But she did go into talking about mean people on social media and how she reacts in different ways to negative, mean comments, and it was a nice little it was just under a 10-minute sort of quickie interview, but it was a nice sort of just bouncing from different stories in her life and different times.
Very cool. All right, folks, we are going to go right into our class picks of the week. John, why don't you kick it off?
Okay, so first up, we have Aditi Shah's 30-minute Vocal Legends Pilates from March 20th. Armajar 3 said great playlist and major core burner. And then Kira Michelle's 30-minute Sheryl Crow Yoga Flow from the 20th. Armajar 3 said great flow and music in this one. And then rounding out the trifecta of Amajar 3 submissions, Callie Gullickson's 20-minute soundtrack strength club from the 21st. Amajar 3 said, so nostalgic and fun.
Nice. All right. Next up, it's mine. It's my pick of the week. John Husking's 45-minute pop walk from Saturday, the 22nd of March. It was at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time. It was the Roses Rebels takeover. And honestly, folks, it was just one tune after another. John was on top form, sharing some really, really funny stories. One that I will just tell you about is how he is in charge of his neighborhood watch. And if you really want to just giggle your way through a 45-minute walk, take it. I don't want to spoil it, but it is just, you may see him on the tread with a walkie-talkie and a yellow fireman's vest. Thank you. I was looking for the word. Fireman's vest in the future.
But, the crossing guard vest.
Crossing guard vest, exactly.
Yeah.
It was just such a fun walk. So yeah, huge shout out to the Roses Rebels for keeping us all on our toes and making it a really, really fun class. It was fun to be there live as well. And then Matt Wolters had a 75-minute Power Zone endurance ride, also on the 22nd at 7 a.m. Eastern. This one came to us from Alders Liz, and they said another great endurance ride from Matt. And then the next one is mine as well, and I am sharing this one with Amajar 3, but I had to give a huge shout out to Bradley Rose. It was his 20-minute metal ride. And when I found out that I was going to be in, a takeover class, and the class was a metal ride, followed by a 20-minute hit class, I was like, God, Amanda, out of all the classes you could have taken, your worst two are the two that you're going to do. And whoops, folks, I got to tell you, it was fantastic. It was not a Kendall head-banging metal ride. It was a manageable, decent music. We had so much fun. Bradley, I think, absolutely killed the class. And who knows, maybe he'll be the next English teaching metal ride instructor that everybody can join in. I was very skeptical about doing it ahead of time, and I got to tell you, I loved it. I don't think I've ever listened to metal in my life. So it was just fun. So definitely take that one.
All right. Well, moving on to strength, Tunde's 30-minute glutes and legs for March 22nd. Jenny Penny 103 said amazing burns from some basic moves. And then Mariana's 60-minute intervals run for March 23rd. Hey, it's Eric M. Renee runs 872, and Rachel spins 24, said hard intervals and great music. And Susie Chan's 2-hour pop run from the 23rd to Barry said amazing coaching, distance, music, in-studio energy, everything.
Awesome. And then we move on to the mat, and we have Chelsea Jackson Roberts' 30-minute reggaeton yoga flow, also from the 23rd. This was at 9:30 a.m., came to us from Amajar 3, and she said, great celebration of community. And then, of course, that Jen Sherman and Kirsten Ferguson's epic 30-minute epic sing-along 2-for-1 walk. It was from the 23rd at noon. This one came to us from Rachel Spins 24 and Casey Sue Carpinello. They said pure happy energy, such a fun class with the two of them. Class was a total party. And if you haven't done it yet, folks, you've got to find time to do it. It really was a fun class. And then Milo Wiedekind's 10-minute extra steps walk. This one is in German. It dropped on the 24th. It came to us from Matt AT82, and they said these extra steps walks are a great add-on.
All right. Next up, Hannah Frankson's 30-minute intervals and arms ride from the 24th. Eric Rides PPC said, great to see Hannah coaching from PSNY. And then Beck's 30-minute intervals run from the 25th. Just Dance Lisa said she pushes you to do your best. Great coaching. Rad Lopez's 45-minute premier bike boot camp from the 25th. Julie MJ, Just Dance Lisa, Sweaty Betty, and Tess C said amazing first bike boot camp from Rad. He's going to be a great addition.
Fantastic. And then rounding up this week's picks of the week, we had Dennis Morton's 20-minute groove ride. This was from the 25th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. This one also came to us from Just Dance Lisa. And she said another great groove ride from Dennis. And then Alex Kowarski and his invited guest, Marcel Dinkins, for his 20-minute form fixer row from the 26th. This one came to us from Chin for the Win. And Melissa said these classes are great and fun to see the guest instructors joining them. And we will round up this week's picks of the week with Maddie Majacomo's 30-minute walking boot camp. This one was from the 26th of March. It came to us from Robin ST2, and they said the walking tread boot camps are a great format and workout. And I concur. Great way to get some strength training in and mix it up with your cardio. And that, folks, is it. It gives you a really nice all-rounded amount of classes there for this week's picks of the week. So, we seem to have gotten in a little bit longer this week. So for those of you that liked our quick 30 minutes,
still under an hour.
We're back.
Not bad.
We're back.
Yeah.
We're still under an hour. Yes. We're still about 45 minutes maybe. All right, folks. Happy to be back. Excited to share all the news that we have to offer you for this week. So as always, appreciate you tuning in and listening, hopefully watching, and taking the time to find out what is going on in the Peloton world. So for me here, thank you, and see you soon. Bye for now, everybody.
Yes, thank you for listening and watching. From me in Michigan, thank you for tuning in. And as always, we will see you on the leaderboard. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.